The Lycanthrope by Eric Petty. "You seem frightened," Francis asked, stationed near the cobblestone wall of the cell. "I am not," he offered. "I am more curious how you managed to silence and quell that abhorrent demon inside of you, one that is born of rage, and rendered you helpless, imprisoned inside this steel cage." "I was no older than you in the year 1921. My occupation was very rare books, the types of tomes that house the alchemist's brew that only the augurs cooked. I fancied upon a small village war-torn, forbidding, and blighted. It was the site where the famous Sir Melian was knighted. I spoke to an innkeeper, a man named Gilius Garnier, about a cursed compendium called the Book of Soiga, late owned by Polymath, God's Talk with Adam Wequerium. A rarity of books written with much that is not known thus, and certainly not well read, and purposely not discussed. He denied such claims of holding said codex, denying the occult and banishing me from the premises into the void, departing the village among the rain damaging. The autumn night afforded me more than the waning sun. In ways, dubious to me then, my life had just begun." "Then this is the origin of your assumptive malady," the young man imparted. "Not assumptive, but in veracity burdening me with a curse from lands uncharted." Francis continued unabated with a solemn soft sigh. "A curse derived from Saint Natalis of Ulster divine." "Lycanthropy?" the man asked. "This is the curse of which you are speaking." "A certainty," Francis replied. "This is the message for your book you are seeking. You are known far and vast as he who was stricken, yet that is mere rumor and legend, with nary a word written. I endeavor to propel or dispel the myth, to examine the mind of a werewolf alleged, discern the beast from man, the man from beast between two worlds wedged. From the waistcoat he pulled a silver Watham pocket watch, pulled a flask with a cross Z, sipped a drop of Bushmill scotch. The fog rolled, obscured my path, my vision belayed, then a terrible noise. Francis detailed my effort in vain to balance and save my feelings equipoise. With the small yellow pencil sharpened too often, too meagerly, the man, young and inquisitive, scribed his notes eagerly. From the dark, with what light the full moon could have provided that night, I heard a rumbling, something stumbling, thrashing mad as an unholy wight, for the footsteps did thump, thunder, and tremor the ground. Abaft me, the silence prevailed until that ghastly sound. His breath, short and stolen, Francis recounted each beat and every measure of said encounter with beast, nor demon, nor flesh, nor man displeasure. Nary a moment when for certain I would breathe the dying gasp of Caesar as the beast did seethe. Before me, the werewolf pronounced, stood sentry under that harvest moon. Not a moment passed. I scampered and fell, the content of my pocket strewn, across that thatched knoll, but I paid no mind, for my footing and refuge I could not find. Again the lycanthrope howled, strained and pained, he arched his serpentine spine, and thrust his jowls with canines exposed, into my thigh, our fates forever intertwined. A blast of gunpowder filled the distance and freed me from my hereafter existence. Francis encountered his feelings disjointed awash with onus, burden, and debt, for the curse had been plied from that rage. His blood boiled, his soul beset. From that moment forth, assuredly as I sit and spoil here, I will endure the torture from that heavenly, lunar sphere. With breaths hurriedly pressed, his brow bestowed with anger from within, the time had hastened. The resolution to legend will come to fruition herein. You were then saved from the mortal coil, immortal rendered, freed from mankind's foil. If you are indeed a lycanthrope or werewolf, as it had been whispered, come full moon as this night abides, you shall turn with hair and whiskers, as complete as the Rugo-Rugu or the Lap-Garou. Can eyes spy with humanity full in stow? I shall be honored to bear witness to such a praeternational phantasmagoria, and compose a tome to honor your just being honest sans such vaingloria. The man declared uncomfortable. On that chair, his twitching ungovernable. On this night, dear boy, we are truly blessed by St. Dionysius himself, as I bear a charm of aconite, culled from an Ostrich manor hidden bookshelf. I have it riding my skin in this moment's form, to guard us from the beast, the coming vile storm. My bedeviled persona, appeased by the aconite locket fast around my neck, and locked cell door before you, secured by my handmaiden's check, at dawn, when that unforgiving orb, its misfortune affecting, my soul, no longer me, my form, and mine collecting, shall be freed from the turn of that fulgur atom key, free to befriend the morn, having escaped the clutch of the beastly form which my humanity has been torn. My apologies, dear Inquisitor, O ye of curiosity, will not this night be privy to my canine atrocity? Francis stood, his demeanor calmed, collected, his anger in dead repose. The young man, twitching in disquiet, drew upon the vapor's throes, from under cellar door seeping, dancing on the cobblestones, an ache, lost in ancient origin, began to contort his bones. I am greatly disappointed, dear sir, as my travels ye the Emerald Isles, far the Ottoman Empire, finding refuge in story, the British Isles, has been robbed of the ending I sought so earnestly in true honesty. I was seeking not story, but fraternity. Young man in torments raw posed stood quickly. His skin, perturbed and mottled, turned wan and sickly. Your tale, rehearsed and contrite, is that of fallacy, lies, and fraud. An elaborate tale that would peddle your books, but it is fatally flawed. As you portend to possess such traits, cursed and bedeviled, one additional note of contention, the accusation leveled that you are, in all display, a mere mountebank, a flim-flammer, scoundrel, and rogue, assured in your countenance and assumed penury, you're wearing pricey leather brogues. From my adroit perspective, you are filled with conceit. In turn, the only devil in you is your matching deceit. The young man stumbled to the cell, his hand outstretched like the hand of Charon. The ferryman, eternally in wait, stoically posed, paid in full for the travail of Acheron. To the cobblestones dropped the brass fulgur atom key, pinging sharply, tinging, tapping loudly times 3. How have you acquired said key, as my handmaid is the only human soul entrusted to free me from my prison cell as the moonlight brought my sorrow, my form maladjusted? Francis scurried to the cell door in vain attempting to acquire the key on the cobblestone floor tempting, but the young man found the key. The accepting hand was grotesque and obscene, a combination of not quite man, certainly not wolf, like the tales told by St. Augustine, of man and animal. The transformation precisely of form and of function was completely done concisely. This form, far from both nature and divine completion, left but small traces of the man, save for the farthest reaches of the mind, and the holding of said key in his hirsute hand. She is no more, dear Francis, as so shall you be. The young man, growling, slowly turned the key. As brothers, my solitude resolved. As adversaries, my curse from werewolf infected, man aside cleaved from flesh and bone, no remorse, no contrition connected. Please, dear spirit, respite, give favor a pity. Oh, have mercy on me, I pray, in full futility. Francis begged, profound in discourse and practice, as forgiveness was trade and study of his hapless victims, driven destitute, asking for reprieve, left tattered and bloody. Your story was false, but in the moment we have spare, the error, fascinatingly told, was left hanging in the air. For I am the innkeeper Gilles Garnier. We have never met in the 4 centuries I have lived, and I have given you what time I can give. The moon calls, truth and lies have been sieved. We, fraternity in the making, steadfast in reprieve, my soul wretched from the wicked web you weaved, not brothers, but. And with his last words, the eyes, once aware in blue, fixed yellow. His jaw snapped and blood pooled round. Deep in the cellar, unheard cries and bellows.